Hello everyone, good morning. Today is April 1st of 2019. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Lisa Espinosa and I am a spiritual career coach. Thank you for joining me for the first Facebook Live of April. If this is your first time connecting with me, I'm so happy to connect with you. My focus is helping highly sensitive women, especially in the wellness field, who are being called to evolve their career and evolve it by following their soul's guidance. Wherever you are at, you are welcome. So I'm so happy you're here in this Facebook Live. So the process, the way it works is I do a little teaching and then I lead you through a meditation. And hi Lisa, hi Makasia. So this month, so for April, not surprisingly, the focus is rebirth, resurrection, renewal, coming out of the darkness into the light, right? Coming out of hiding into being seen. So that's what this month's theme is. So all of the Facebook Lives that I will be doing this month, and there will be 3, are going to be around that theme. And today, as I was meditating and getting prepared for our gathering, our virtual gathering, I was super excited to talk about birthing and seeds and what are you going to create in April. And that is still definitely part of the intention, but I recognized as I was preparing that I really, in order to prepare for what you are birthing, you need to get clear on what might be blocking you from birthing that, right? And it's interesting that in the last few weeks, I've been asked several times, like, what are the biggest obstacles that your clients face when they're evolving their career? And there's several. The one I'm going to focus on right now is one that we don't often think about, but is so important, and it is unprocessed grief. So one of the biggest blocks that I notice, and I've experienced this as well, when my clients come in and we decide to work together and they're super excited to figure out, okay, what is my soul telling me? What am I supposed to do to evolve my career? And not all clients, but many, at some point it becomes clear that their soul is kind of saying, you know what, you need to wait. There's going to be not a delay, but there's some grief that is unprocessed that needs to be released so that you can really step into this next evolution of your career. So I want you to remember one thing. Your soul is not just guiding you to your next job, right? Your soul is guiding you to evolve your soul's medicine, right? And you've heard me talk about soul's medicine many times. So your soul's medicine is that those unique gifts and talents, your unique life experiences that nobody else has. That is medicine for the world, right? You have your own unique soul's medicine. And your soul is all about, hey Lorenza, you sharing your soul's medicine. And you cannot share your soul's medicine effectively if there is grief that you are not looking at, that you are repressing or projecting or hiding from. And especially for my clients who, are focused, are in the wellness field and are focused on helping others or have this longing to help others. Whatever your job is, you're helping others. But specifically, if you're in the wellness field, your job is to help others, so you to be a healing presence. And I've said this many times, but we cannot take our students, our clients, our customers further than we've taken ourselves. It's just impossible. So your soul, in its wisdom, it's not that your soul's trying to delay or make you work really hard. Like, your soul knows, like, hey, I'm leading you to the career that's going to allow you to share your soul's medicine in the best possible way. I'm not just leading you to like the next job, right? So of course we're going to go to the foundation, and if there is some grief that you just need to spend a little time processing, completing, then we're going to do that. So I want to be clear that this doesn't mean it's going to take years. This doesn't mean that, oh my gosh, now you're going to have to do this grief work and it's going to be so depressing and hard. And I feel like part of my work with my clients, part of my medicine, I have realized, is to help other people through grief. And yes, I'm focused on evolving your career, but grief evolving your career is birthing, right? You're birthing a new career. And whenever we're birthing, think about physical birth, when a mom births a child, right? There's also death. Death meaning like there's the death of, like if it's your first child, yes, it's so exciting to become a mom, but there's also the ending of you not a mother, right? There's also blood and water and feces and all sorts of stuff. Like birth is not neat and clean and polite, right? So same thing when you're evolving your career, it is a courageous journey. And when people ask me what's the biggest obstacle, I think the biggest obstacle is fear. And it's because if you're really committed to evolving your career, you know that, oh yeah, like I've said several times already, it's not just about getting my next job. It's about sharing my medicine in the most fulfilling way. So what I want to tell you about the grief is that just your willingness, just you saying to your soul, hey, I'm willing to process this grief that needs to be processed, will start to open the doors. It might literally be just you acknowledging that you're grieving something. You know, when I have clients who've retired from a job or quit a job or whatever it was, but they've been working there for some time. And again, they're super excited to start the new thing, but they're still attached to this old job, not necessarily because they loved it so much, although that might be part of it, but a lot of times there's unprocessed grief of either times where they weren't respected in their past job, times where they held back from sharing their gifts or speaking up or being bolder or more authentic, times when they felt somebody stole their ideas. I mean, so many things. So again, before they step into the new, there needs to be an honoring, a witnessing of like, oh yeah, I'm kind of grieving this past job, right? Or it might not be career related at all. I mean, you probably all know I have 5 children, and my youngest son just turned 18 like 2 weeks ago. Like, what? I'm still like, how did this happen? But I remember, you know, a few months back, even though I knew, of course, because I've grieved every one of my children as they've gone away to college, that this was going to happen with my youngest. But I kind of forgot, or maybe repressed it. I have no idea. But I was, you know, trying to work on my career and teach classes and write my new book, all those things. But I just was dragging my feet, and I felt like I had this cloud over my head. And, you know, I just kept thinking, why am I not so more motivated? What's wrong with me? All these things. And it wasn't until I really, you know, sat in a meditation and asked, like, what's wrong? What is going on? And clearly heard, oh, I'm grieving. I'm grieving that not only my youngest is about to turn 18, or has already, and is going to go away to college. I'm grieving this end of, you know, that he'll be the last one that he leaves, right? I know I'm still a mother, but there's an ending of a phase of motherhood. And I had to really acknowledge that to myself. Like when I said I'm grieving, it was like a relief, like, oh gosh, that's what's wrong. I'm grieving. And it didn't mean I had to go, you know, away to just be depressed. It wasn't that. It was just like, oh, I'm grieving. So yeah, there's going to be times when I cry, and there's fear about what does this mean? What's going to happen when he leaves? All of those things. But just naming it, acknowledging it, and because I've grieved so many things in my life, to also that not be terrified of the grief process, that okay, this is not going to kill me. And I know that when I allow myself to grieve, oh my gosh, all the growth is going to happen. And it did. Just saying, I'm grieving. That's what's happening right now. I'm grieving that he's going to be graduating high school and going away to college. Totally just lifted this burden off of me. And it's not like it was done, but suddenly I was like, oh, okay, I could make space for the grief, but then also keep moving forward. So that's what I want to tell you, that when I say that an obstacle to you evolving your career is unprocessed grief, that doesn't mean so you have to pause everything and process that grief. It's simultaneous. You recognize, I am processing grief. There's this grief that I'm still processing. If you don't know what it is, that's okay. Your soul will let you know. It might be a bunch of things. You might not need to know details, or it might be a very specific thing. But just you saying, I am willing to process this. I am willing to let it go. And I just have to share, this amazing hawk just flew outside my window. So anyway, hawk medicine is powerful. I just looked over there and I was like, ah. So the hawk is saying yes. So just your willingness will open the doors, and then you can keep taking steps forward. Okay, so I want to give you just a couple of things. If you're totally like overwhelmed or lost with, well, how do I grieve? Obviously, if you have a coach or a professional you're working with, that's one way. But, you know, even so powerful to set a little altar, right? Just set up an altar. And it could be a windowsill, like literally, where you put a crystal, you put a card, you put a flower, something that represents, okay, this is, you know, I'm grieving. You know, I was talking about my kids, right? That, you know, I have a picture right now of myself with my 5 little kids. Well, there's 4 at that point, and I'm in my graduation gown because I graduated college and I had 4 kids. And that's on my altar right now, just kind of I'm honoring the journey I've taken with them. So whatever you do, it could be a little altar that everybody gets to see. It could be a little altar that you just see yourself. You could do a ritual where you go out in nature and, you know, take a walk and just kind of acknowledge this grief that you are processing and releasing burdens from. I mean, it could be simple. It could be playing a song that reminds you of whatever it is you're grieving and allowing yourself to move mindfully through it and cry if you need to cry. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm not, and I'm not suggesting that that'll be it and you'll be done. Although sometimes it might be. I've had clients who have recognized, whoa, I'm grieving this like one little thing in my previous job that I hadn't allowed myself to grieve. And when they do their ritual, whatever they decide to do, it's done. It's kind of like, wow, that was all I needed. That was it. And for some of the other things, it'll be several steps, and that's okay. Grief is a process. And, you know, I'm always surprised over and over again how things that I've thought I've grieved come up again. And I'm like, gosh, I thought I was done with that. And I'm learning more and more to recognize that grief is not linear, it's cyclical. And this is the other thing. When you process grief, when you allow yourself to grieve, it expands your soul's medicine. You become a much more healing presence in the world because everybody has grief and very few people know how to grieve. So if you take that courageous journey to say, yes, I am willing, then when you're helping your clients, your students, your loved ones, even just people you run into, and I don't mean like you got to go ask them, what are you grieving? just your presence, just your energy helps other people to heal. So grieving is, yeah, it's like one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself and for the world. So I wanted to say that. And if you have any questions, you know, you can put them here, or after I post a Facebook Live, you can post them there, because I will be, you know, like I said, the theme of April is rebirth, renewal, resurrection, coming out of the darkness into the light. And of course that means acknowledging the darkness. And I don't mean darkness as in bad. I just mean like it feels heavy at times, right? So I want to pause here before we get into the meditation. One thing I forgot to say at the beginning, if you're interested in, if you're like, I need a mentor, I want to explore, how do I get help in following my soul's guidance to evolve my career, then I would invite you to schedule a breakthrough session with me. That's a free session. Just go to my website, lisaespinosa.net, lisaespinosa.net, and go to the Start Here page, and it'll explain how you schedule that session, and it'll be an opportunity for us to talk and see, you know, how I can help you, and see, you know, for me to see if we're a good fit, and for you to see if you would like to work with me, and we move from there. So I wanted to share that. And after the meditation, I'll share some upcoming events as well. Okay, so wherever you are at, right, wherever you are at, hopefully, and if you're somewhere where you can't close your eyes, then remember, this is recorded, so you can watch it again, so you can do the meditation, all right? But let's get comfortable. And go ahead and close your eyes if you can, if it's safe for you to do so, and just take some nice cleansing breaths. And allow your breath, your breathing to really soothe you. Perhaps talking about grief kind of brought up some sadness or some fear. And if so, as you breathe in and out, just call on that energy of compassion and love, knowing that your soul would never ever guide you to explore something if it wasn't going to bring you joy and abundance and fulfillment. So as you breathe in, focusing on your hips and your pelvis, moving down your legs, down to your ankles and feet. Seeing beautiful roots of light going down your legs and out the bottoms of your feet, deep into the earth. And if there's any stress, any tension, any static, anything that you want to let go and release into the earth so that you can be really present here, go ahead and do so. Let it flow into the earth. Know how the earth will compost and recycle whatever you release. And breathing that energy from the earth up your feet, up your legs, into your pelvis, up your back, all the way to the crown of your head. Feeling so held and grounded and safe. And then bringing your palms, the palms of your hands over your heart center. Breathing into your heart, the entryway to your soul. See in your heart this beautiful light that represents the light of your soul. Thinking of the theme of the month, right? Renewal, rebirth, resurrection, rising up, coming out of the darkness into the light. You're going to ask your soul a few questions. Know that your soul always, always answers you, but you might not become consciously aware of the answers yet. But your soul will always answer. So with your hands here on your heart, welcoming your beautiful soul, seeing this light in your heart float out of your heart in front of you, so that you see this bubble of light that's hovering right in front of your heart. And that bubble starts to take shape. And it starts to take the shape of this beautiful woman that is your soul. And of course, we know our soul has no gender, is beyond gender. But right now, she is showing up as this beautiful priestess, this beautiful goddess woman. And maybe she looks just like you. Maybe she looks a little different. But she is standing there in front of you. And you are looking into her eyes. She is looking into your eyes. And you notice how much love she has for you. She loves you unconditionally. She has so much compassion for you. She is so delighted to connect with you. And you notice that behind your soul is a beautiful golden path. And you know that that is your golden path. That is the highest path of your career evolution. That is the path that will bring you the most joy, the most financial abundance, the most fulfillment, and that will help the most people. That's the path you want to be on. But your soul is here to help you be on that path. So as you're standing here, the first question you're going to ask your soul is, beautiful soul, what do I still need to grieve so that I may really fully step on that path? Beautiful soul, what do I still need to grieve so that I can step fully on that path. Again, beautiful soul, what do I need to grieve so that I can step fully on that path? And just receive the answer in your heart. Remember, your soul always answers, even if you don't hear it in this moment. Next question, beautiful soul. What is the easiest, best way for me to grieve this? Again, beautiful soul, what is the easiest, most efficient, most loving way for me to grieve this? Your soul wants to save you time, right? So ask again, beautiful soul, what is the easiest, most efficient, most loving way for me to grieve this? Remember, your soul always answers you. And as you stand there in front of your soul, bringing your palms down, your soul brings her hands to your heart. And you are receiving her healing as she helps to soften, as she helps to uplift, and maybe even remove any grief that you have there that is ready to be released, that is ready to be let go of. Just receive her healing right now. And if you are meant to know what grief she's working on, she will tell you. But perhaps you don't even need to know, and that is okay too. And now notice how your heart feels so lit up. Perhaps you feel some heat there. And now as she stands in front of you, you notice that in her hand she's holding a beautiful golden seed. And this isn't a little seed, it's this big golden seed that you can see it's like cracking open. It's ready to give birth. And this is your golden seed. This is a seed that you are meant to nurture and grow and give birth to in April. And she holds the seed in her hand and she blows on it, blessing it with her love and wisdom, her grace and miracles. And she looks at you and she says, I would not be giving you the seed if you weren't ready. You have been preparing for a long time, lifetimes even. So she places the seed into your heart now. Feel your heart lifting as it makes space for this beautiful seed. You know that this seed is about your soul's medicine. It is about your career. It is about how you are meant to help others and yourself. You might know what it is, or you might not yet, but you will. So bringing your palms together in front of your heart, you look at your beautiful soul and you bow to her, thanking her. And as you look back at her, you see that she is bowing to you with so much love and honor. And she is reminding you that she is always with you. You can always, always connect with her and receive from her. And as you look at the floor, you realize you are on your golden path. You are on it already. So we bow to everyone on this Facebook Live, whether they're here right now or they're watching the recording later. And we bow to our own beautiful heart. And we close this journey with a namaste. Namaste, everyone. Stretch, take some nice breaths. I'm going to burn some Palo Santo to close our journey here. Remember, you can hear the meditation over and over. Each time you will get more guidance, more information. So here we go, closing the circle. All right, so I want to pull a few cards for you quickly. Whew, lots of smoke. We're releasing a lot. But a couple of announcements. So most of you know, or all of you know, that I am in the process of writing my second book. Yay! Birthing the Priestess Within. And if you are in the Chicago area in Palos Park, I will be at the center doing my first book reading of book number 2. I will be revealing the cover. It's here inside this, but you're not going to see it. You're welcome, Lisa. She's saying it was very powerful and needed today. You're welcome. Yeah. So I want to read just a little bit about what the book is about. Just what's behind this card. So it says here, this book, and I'm talking about book number 2, Birthing the Priestess Within. This book serves as a sanctuary, a space of remembering, and yes, a manual of sorts, a roadmap for those of you who are feeling the call to the priestess path. This is not a religious calling, but rather a calling from the divine to be a channel of unconditional love, regardless of what job title you may have. So I'll just read that. There's more. So that's what I want you to understand. This isn't about religion. This isn't about, now I have to call myself a priestess. For me, a priestess is someone who is being called to be a channel of unconditional love. To me, that is all of you. And I will be talking about, I'll be sharing some personal stories, a lot more than my first book, but I'll be sharing 3 processes that are essential to really say yes to that calling, that birthing of yourself. And I'm so super excited and of course scared, but that's part of the process, right? So if you can make it tomorrow, I would love to see you. I will be sharing a sample chapter. Well, I'll do that tomorrow, but I'll also be sharing a sample chapter in my newsletter next week. So if you can't make it to the book reading, you can read that next week. Other thing is, next Monday will be our other Facebook Live. I will be skipping the 15th because it's spring break. So it'll be, April 8th and April 22nd will be our Facebook Live. So write it down on your calendar. And Solder World meditation, April 11th, Willowbrook. If you want, it's evening meditation, 7 o'clock. I would love to see you in person if you can make it. That is by donation. And the spring retreat, May 3rd. I would love to see you. It's all about blooming boldly. And I want you to know that all of the women who come, and it's capped at around 10 or 13 women, are just wonderful, highly sensitive, kind, generous women. If you're feeling any nervousness about showing up, you will be in a safe, loving space. I will not ask you to do anything you don't want to do. So it's really a day of remembrance and connection with your soul, so that you leave and you're ready to like share your medicine in an even more powerful way, because the world needs you. The world needs all of us to say yes to our soul's calling. So, all right. And obviously you can always email me or private Facebook message me if you have questions. Okay, so let's pull a card. I was really guided to do the Sacred Traveler for you all today, Denise Lynn. So what message does your soul have for you? All right. Oh my gosh. I really can't make this up. Okay. Answering the call. Look at this. The time is now. I swear not all the cards say this. This is the only card that has this. So yeah, look at her. She's like opening the door because her soul is saying, it's time. I feel like she's like going on her golden path. So this is what it's saying. The time is now, not later, not tomorrow, not when you have more training. It's like now. Say yes now. You are ready. That's what this card is saying. You are ready. And if there's grief you need to do, just say, I am willing, I am ready, and it's going to happen. Okay, there it is. All right, so there's that one. And let me pull... I have so many oracle cards, it's really hard to, my focus keeps going off, sorry. It's really hard to decide which ones, but this is Denise Lynn too, Gateway Oracle, so let's see. Oh, love it. revealing radiance, and it's like a beautiful pearl. My light illuminates the world. And this is so perfect. She talks about it in this card. If you know how pearls are created, right? It's like dirt rubbing and rubbing and rubbing and rubbing, creating this beautiful light. I mean, look it up. The journey of a pearl is so symbolic of our journey of our evolving our soul's medicine. So I feel like that's what it is. Like when we allow ourselves to grieve, to go through our initiations, that's what comes out. We become this beautiful, radiant pearl. And pearls are unique. No two pearls look the same. So that's how you are, right? Nobody else, even if they have the same job as you, nobody else can do what you do. So, amazing cards, right? Answer the call, the time is now, and revealing radiance. My light illuminates the world. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if any men decide to watch this, you're always welcome. All right, bye everyone. Have a lovely, lovely week. And I welcome your comments, please, and share the Facebook Live. The more people that watch it, the better. And yeah, all right, bye everyone. See ya.